So I got a lot of stuff I want to talk about, guys, in this episode of the show. Number one, and this is, guys, by the way, I want to say, Dark Illusion, thank you for the follow. Just Gunsy, thank you for the follow. I really appreciate you guys. Any of you watching live here on Twitch, I appreciate you guys without question. All of you guys watching this later on YouTube, I appreciate each and every one of you as well. So let's get into this thing, guys. I want to talk about Gear 6. So we've been talking a ton about Gear 6 lately, been talking a lot about the Gears of War collection as well. I want to talk, though, specifically about Gear 6, what this means, obviously, and what can we expect now moving forward after this being the final day of Gears Esports. So let's talk about it. So Gear 6, guys, is something we've been talking about, on the YouTube channel a lot. You guys can check out all of that content on the channel. But what can we expect now with obviously the end in sight for Gears Esports? I think it's very important that we kind of put this into context here as to, what can we expect moving forward. A couple of things here, guys, that I think is really, really important for us to kind of put out there is, even though this is the end of an era, end of a period of time where Gears Esports and just Gears of War in general, I felt was just absolutely at all-time highs. Even though I felt like, the original Gears of War trilogy were certainly my favorites. I mean, there's no doubt about it. I absolutely loved the original Gears of War trilogy, Gears of War 3 being my favorite Gears game to this day of all time. I felt that it took a little while for, the Coalition to kind of get their footing, get their, kind of lay a little bit of some groundwork. Got, of course, the Gears of War Ultimate Edition, which a lot of people really enjoyed. I enjoyed it myself. And then we got Gears of War 4, which I loved. I thought Gears of War 4 was great. I thought there were certainly things that they could improve upon. But from a Gears Esports perspective, I felt that, Gears Esports actually was really I really loved the direction it was heading in with, Gears of War 4. Not only because I enjoyed the new game mode Escalation so much. I absolutely loved Escalation. Even though it was a change from Execution, I thought that it was a great change. And in my personal opinion, one of the best new game modes ever from a third-person video game perspective in esports. I absolutely loved it. I thought it just had some incredibly epic moments. So Gears of War 4 was awesome in a multitude of ways. Now, obviously, there did not, it didn't come without problems. There were certainly issues along the journey, as with any title out there, guys. There will always be issues with any AAA title out there. I don't care what game we're talking about. There's always going to be issues. Then we got to Gears 5. And although I loved Gears 5, not everybody did. Not everyone loved Gears 5. People thought that we were going to, Gears of War 4 was a good foundation for the Coalition, and Gears 5 was going to, really exceed expectation in a massive, massive way. And it didn't do that, right? It had a shaky launch. Pretty much all the Gears of War titles have had shaky launches, and so it's just kind of something that happens. And it's unfortunate because obviously we want to see that change at some point or another. But Gears 5, I really enjoyed. And I thought that Gears Esports, it started off actually a little bit, shaky in my opinion. Now, sure, Escalation was certainly kind of the focal point, but it transitioned right into Execution as well as having Escalation, which I liked. I liked having, those two game modes in particular. Now, they've had others, being like Control and such. And to me, I really enjoyed Escalation and Execution more than anything. I thought that those were the two that really were the best, so to speak, that I kind of would be totally down in Gear 6 for them to kind of go back and forth. But now, leading us into what we're excited for, that being the future of Gears, even though we didn't get an announcement of Gear 6 or the Gears of War collection for that matter at the Xbox Games Showcase, I still have a ton of promise and a ton of excitement and hype for Gear 6. Obviously, the Coalition, them being quiet and silent, I said this on a recent video, it actually has got me really excited and really hyped because they're being quiet about it. Even though I want them to have a little bit more communication with us as the community, it gets me excited because I just feel, guys, that they're working on something. They're cooking up something pretty special over at the Coalition. And I truly believe that. And I think that even though they're taking their time, that may actually be a very good thing for Gears 6. So where does that leave us? What can we expect at this point in time with Gears esports scene shutting down? What can we expect? Obviously Gears 5 no longer being, supported by the Coalition. What can we expect? So, in terms of all of that, well, I'll tell you guys, number one is that I'm going to be creating content every single day on the YouTube channel, which you guys can check out all of the content that I've been posting. New videos every single day on the YouTube channel, all within the Gears of War and the Gears of War realm, essentially. I've dedicated my YouTube channel to Gears of War, and that's not changing, right? I know there's a number of other creators out there as well that have dedicated their channels to Gears of War, and many of them are sticking with Gears of War. They're going to stick it out for the long haul here until we get an announcement of, Gears of War's collection, Gears 6, and I think that's a really awesome thing. I think it's a valiant thing for a lot of these guys who have been in the community even longer than myself. And I've been around since, the original Gears of War, not creating content necessarily when the game first came out. But, some of these guys have been creating content, for a very long time, since Gears 2, even, and that's absolutely incredible, right? So where does that leave us though? Well, obviously in the meantime, like I said, creators are going to be creating content. So if you love content, guys, revolving around Gears of War, Gears 6, the Gears of War collection, even Gears 5, or even the older Gears of War titles, even the more recent announcements of, some community mods and things of that nature, that being like A New Hope and Delta Online. Those are all ways that you can kind of connect and stay in tune with what's going on from a community perspective. Will there be Gears of War tournaments that are put on? It's hard to say, guys, from the community. It really depends on if the Coalition is going to allow that, or Microsoft, Gears of War as a whole, if they're going to allow those things. It's hard to say if they will or not. But I think that the future of Gears of War is still very bright, even though we didn't get an announcement at the Xbox Game Showcase, even though they're shutting down support of Gears 5, and they are shutting down Gears Esports, at least for the time being. I still feel very confident in the future of this thing, that being Gears of War as a whole. I truly believe, guys, that the best is yet to come for Gears of War, and we just got to be patient. We just got to kind of have that long-term perspective and that long-term mindset moving into the future of this. And so there's going to be many of us that are going to be continuing to create content and stream and things of that nature around this title, around this series. On the flip side of that, if you don't create content and you don't stream and things of that nature, guys, it's really important that if you want to see this thing continue, this thing to, go to that next level eventually, it's going to be very important that we stay connected as a community. Following your favorite streamers, your favorite content creators, and supporting those people and those individuals is going to be really important for the future. And so, like I said, I'm going to be doing my part, guys, to create as much content as I can. I'm going to be doing what I can in terms of, bringing back my team. And I really want to get involved in the esports side of Gears when that all returns and things of that nature, and be involved even right now, right? Try to find a home for some of these, for some of these, obviously these current streamers, these current pros that aren't going to have a job in Gears of War, at least for the foreseeable future. It's going to be very important that we, obviously are a part of that growth and such for those individuals moving forward. But I'm really excited, guys. I think even though there's a lot of negativity going around right now, I think there's a light at the end of the tunnel. We just got to kind of push to that point. That being Gears 6, most importantly, but also, of course, the Gears of War collection, which is what a lot of people want as well. That can be that bridge title that gets us to Gears 6, which will probably come out in 2024, 2025. The Gears of War collection is probably going to be something, if it comes out, it would probably come out next year in 2023. But with that being said, guys, let me know what you think in the comment section down below. What do you guys think about, what can we expect now with Gears 6, with all the things happening, all the shakeups happening, the final Gears of War esports event, the, obviously Gears 5 being shut down by the Coalition in terms of the support. What do you guys think about all this, and what do you think this means for Gears 6? Let me know in the comment section down below. And for more Gears 6 content and videos, stay here with Zero TV.